joined today by Shirley and Tony from Sperling Retail, here to give us a bit of background as to what the business is about and answer a few questions. So if we could start, guys, by just having a quick background about what Sperling is.
Okay. Sperling is a small to medium enterprise based in Haverhill in Suffolk. We manufacture shop fitting equipment for some of the high street retailers, and at the moment we're reasonably busy, which is all good for all of us. The business started back in '52 in Clerkenwell in East London. We initially started manufacturing paper mache busts and body forms for some of the retailers at the time in the late 50s.
Okay.
After that, we moved out when we got busy up into Haverhill, where there's larger facilities, bigger manufacturing capabilities. So we moved up here, carried on with the paper mache busts, but then people started asking us if we could do more things. So we added a bit of metal work, so we could do a bit more equipment and a bit of joinery, and so the business has expanded. So and we're sort of here today.
For those who are not quite aware, can you just give us a bit more example of what the products you're manufacturing are, what they're used for?
Yeah, so basically anyone walking into a store, whether it's Topshop or Moss Brothers or Debenhams, if you stand at the cash desk to pay, we make the cash desks, we make the equipment for the products to hang on, so the shoes or the clothes or the bags or whatever, we make the shelves and the fittings, we make the display busts in the windows for visual merchandising. So basically everything as you walk into a store, we'll basically manufacture it or source it or supply it, whether we do it here or we do it out of China or wherever.
So if it wasn't for you, your kind of stock would be sitting on the floor and it'd be a big jumble set.
It would indeed, yes, and we do a few of those as well.
You've got to a point now of large client base. But,
yeah. Well, just again on that, as the business expanded in the 70s, one of the previous directors, they were over in the States, they saw a new detail over there which was called slat wall at the time, which was being used. So they brought that back to England. We bought a big machine from Japan called a CNC machine, the first one in England virtually we brought over, and that allowed us then to deal on a larger scale to the larger retailers of the time, the people like Woolworths or Greenwood's menswear at the time, and we started mass manufacturing this slat wall, and that was the real large push for our business, and it allowed us to deal with these large groups, of which now we're still dealing with the same groups many years on, albeit their names have changed, the Topshop groups, the Burton group, the Sears groups of old, and Wallace, which then put us out into the larger retailers within the UK, an area where we still trade. So we're dealing with retailers who have got 50, 60, 70, 80 stores, 200 stores. So although we do deal with small one-off people on Haverhill High Street or Cambridge or wherever, we're generally dealing to 30 or 40 stores at a time. So that was a big influential change in our business in the late 70s, which really kick-started us as a serious player within our business.
So that opportunity that was spotted as almost created a platform for where you are today then.
Exactly, real springboard at the time. It was David Gillett, one of the founder members of the Gillett family, who were the originators of the business really.
So how did you use that platform then to expand further and cement your position?
Well, since then we've tried to keep ahead of the game. We're always looking for new materials and new techniques, and we've got training courses. So we try and keep ahead, and our clients are always asking for us to do something new. Our industry being retail, where basically our clients are trying to sell clothes generally, or shoes or handbags. They come in and out of fashion every 6 months. So what was in last spring is no longer in this spring, and that's the same for our equipment. So after a year or 2 years, we don't like the equipment, take it out, put new stuff in. So we're constantly evolving and developing our equipment to suit our clients' needs and to keep their stores fresh. Position where our business just keeps going round and round and round and round. And as long as we don't do anything wrong, keep our clients happy and take them out for a drink at Christmas. It all works. That's the way the business
That's
works.
the same as all businesses.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
So you're seeing quite a lot of success with the larger chains then?
Yeah. We've done well. I mean, just to give you a bit more sort of background of the business of late, following the sale by the Gale family, the incumbent management took on the business for approximately 20 years and developed it over to where it is today, shall we say. We've had a few hiccups along the way, as all businesses do, but the management team as a whole has remained pretty static throughout that period. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, the board of directors at the time obviously started to look for what is the next generation within the business, looked at a variety of options of buyouts and mergers and a variety of things, and eventually what happened is they brought some new blood into the business with some new clients and new client base, and that's where I fell into the pack, shall we say. And with the new team and the new workload, we took it up another step. So we went from the slack panel stage of expanding the business and then keeping on top of that to then bringing more clients in with more opportunities and more service opportunities, and developed it another grade. So we took the business from 4 million to 8 million over an 8-month period or so.
If you could just maybe give us a bit of information about what you consider to be your and Sperling's biggest accomplishment to date.
Okay, well, of late we've been doing some really nice new concept work for a few retailers. I think the first one is probably a brand new concept store we did for Topshop out in Moscow, Topshop and Topman. 35,000 square foot, huge thing, and a brand new shopping mall, sort of designed, developed and shipped it within about a 12-week period. It was in all the press and really nice job, so that was an interesting one, especially out in Moscow, not the easiest place to work.
And also Hamley's in Moscow as well.
And following that, Hamley's the great department store, child kids store on Regent Street in London. We've just done the refurbishment of Hamley's, all 5 floors. Prior to the Olympics, they wanted to make
a revamp and
make a positive impact on Regent Street, so we did the whole of that, which kept us busy throughout the summer. A few containers being shipped down to Regent Street, and on the back of that they quickly bought a store in Moscow, and we did another store in Moscow on the back of that. The other major one we've just done of late with a retailer who's again a long established retailer within the UK, Moss. They've been looking a bit tired and a bit dated, and their business wasn't a great proposition, so they've spent a lot of money. They've got a new concept, they're rebranding, and they've only just launched it, a brand new store on Regent Street, and it's absolutely superb. It's going to change their business and already has. That store has doubled its turnover since a refit, which is phenomenal for any retailer. And now we're taking that across their portfolio. So for them it was do or die. They've got to do something or not. They've done this store. It was hard work, a bit of graft, a few tears, but we got there in the end. The project managers were pulling their hair and having fights on site, but it was all part of the fun. And at the end, they love it. And it's actually been nominated for the Retail Interior Store of the Year.
Oh, brilliant.
So we're down to London with our Dicky Rose on shortly, and hopefully raising a glass and winning that one. So that's a fantastic success story, not just for us, but for Moss as a whole, because hopefully they've started their business again, and they're really looking to launch their business.
It's really pleasing when it comes off.
That's right.
It's a fortune with a long-established business that people, clients can trust us, and then we deliver our calls. We do it over and over again. So. The trust is there.
You also keep getting these calls from the major clients. Is there something that's unique to Sperling, a USP that's built that forward?
I think there's probably several. I think the main one, the core one, is the level of service we give our clients. At the front end, from design, the speed of work we have to do to make sure they're ahead of their game and their competitors, but also the aftercare. We hold a great deal of aftercare. We're a brand new concept in. 2 months down the line, we'll be back in. We'll see how it's fared. Is there any mistakes? Do we need to do this better next time with the designers or with the client, so that next time we'll do it a bit better? And we're constantly, everything evolves. So
Yeah.
what we're doing is a constant moving animal, and I think people appreciate that, and it's something our clients tell us they struggle to get with other players within the business. So we're quite happy with our service levels and our speed to market to allow them to be at the forefront of what they're doing. So I think that as a whole is our USP really. And hopefully we enjoy what we do, we work with nice people, we're honest and open, and I think all our clients reciprocate.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely, I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Obviously after the economic crash, shall we say, a few years ago, the English market is pretty well full of retail, but basically people are now going out. So we're doing Moscow, as we already talked about, the Far East, the Middle East, Indonesia, and the larger one, shortly to hit most retailers, is China. So we are developing our processes and our support of our clients to take them and allow them to go into China or Malaysia or wherever it is. And I would say now possibly 50-60% of our work is actually international work. So we're manufacturing in the UK and exporting now.
Just a final question really, if you were to give any advice to someone wanting to set up in business now, what would it be?
I think first of all, understand it is a business. It's got to be profitable, and you've got to make money, and you've got to live off it. So that's the fundamental starting point at the moment. Is this business a business? Is there something to sell where you can make money off it? So as long as you've got that nutshell, you've got a business starting point. You need to check out your marketplace, you need to check out your competitors, check out the pricing, so you know as much as you can about the business you are starting on. You've got to be constantly on it. If you're not prepared to work, it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be running a business. It's not. I think one of the main points which we talked about earlier is you've got to be prepared to change all the time, constantly monitor, constantly change to whatever the parameters are, what's happening that day, that month, that year. And as long as you keep moving and keep changing, this business has evolved over 50, 60 years, and I don't think there's ever been the same 6 months ever.
There's your ingredients for any successful business.
That's brilliant. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.